Today we got the contract added to Grand Theft Auto Online, and it is shaping up to be a great update. We have some awesome new weapons that you can pick up over at the armory. Plus we have some new Imani tech that you can add to certain vehicles that will stop lock-on from missiles onto you. Plus we get to hang out with Franklin and see how he's progressed into the future, which is pretty cool. Little side Easter egg here before we get started is if you pop over to Franklin's house, you'll see that his house is now called the Clintons, and you will find some kid stuff scattered around the backyard, which is a nice little touch. So the update was 3.6 gigabytes for me on PlayStation 5, and when you load into free roam you're going to get a call from Lamar. There are 4 different agency locations that you can choose from, and you can purchase these from the Dynasty 8 website in the game. These range from 2 million all the way up to 2.8 million. I went with the 2.8 million just for the location of it. You can pick 3 different art styles that you have on your wall. The first is Power and Money, which is free. The second one is Pop and Hype, which will cost you 265,000, and the last one is Loyalty and Respect, which will cost you 340,000. Personally, I think I prefer the Power and Money. There's 9 different wallpapers you can choose from. These range from 200,000 all the way up to like 460,000, and it really does depend on what your taste is. I'll just give you a quick look through all the different wallpapers that you can choose from. The one I went with myself was the tiled one, but again, it doesn't actually do anything for the game, but just pure personal taste. You can also change the highlight as well, and this will just cost you 100,000 for whichever highlight you want to choose. And finally, things get interesting with the armory that you can add, which is going to cost you 720,000, but it will open up a range of new weapons you can get. You can also add accommodation for 275,000 and a vehicle workshop for 800,000. So for me, purchasing the top tier one and getting all the upgrades, it cost me just shy of 5 million for everything there. Once you get to your agency, you will be greeted by Franklin, and he will tell you how exactly this setup is going to work. But first, we'll just have a quick look around what you will get at the agency and explore some of the content you get while purchasing this DLC. Also, basic stuff first, you'll find snacks here on the table. Red Dead fans, you will find that one of the secretaries has a wallpaper for Red Dead Redemption 2. If you purchase the armory, you basically have a one-stop shop for all the guns if you want to purchase them, as well as stocking up on body armor and things like this. But this is also where you can purchase some of the new weapons that have been added to the game. The first is the heavy rifle, which you can purchase for 40,000. The EMP launcher will cost you just under 500,000, but you might have to do 1 or 2 contract missions first, but it will show up here once you have them done. Personally, I found it a little underwhelming, as it will just stop the vehicle for a few seconds, so it will stall it, which could be useful for helicopters and oppressors and things, but the problem is you're kind of shooting projectiles, so you have to judge the fall of the projectile, and it doesn't seem to have a very long range. Plus you can't hold that many grenades for it. The stun gun will cost you 326,000, and once you purchase that, you'll be able to get different liveries for that also. You'll also find a second place for snacks just over here in this corner too, which is always useful. The agency garage holds a few vehicles for you, and there is also a workshop if you have purchased that. One nice touch I find in here is that you will find the employees that work your cars also parked here, and you can see Franklin's Buffalo, which is heavily modded, or you'll get a glimpse of his green iconic bike, which I guess depends on how he came to work that day. One of the things that they added here is that you can now get Imani tech, and the options you have here is either a remote control link, so you can control your car remotely, or else you can get a missile lock-on jammer, which is pretty cool. Sadly though, you can't get these upgrades on all of the new vehicles, which I think is a little kind of sad, but I will try to put together a list of what can and can't get these upgrades and stick them below in the description. You also seem to get a free Ennis Jubilee. You can't customize it, but you do get it. I think you get it after doing one of the first contract missions in the DLC. But I thought I'd mention it in case you'd like to hold off purchasing that. So far, there are 7 new cars added to the game. The first is the Fistron Astron, which doesn't have any Imani upgrades. The Cinquemilia, which is going to cost you 1.7 million. The Ingus, which will cost you 2.7 million. The Ennis Jubilee, which you can get for either 2 prices, depending on how many contract missions you do. You also get an armored version in your agency as well, for free it seems. You can also get the deity as well, which is 2 prices depending how many contract missions you do. And finally, the buffalo can be purchased over at this superautos.com site. Again, has those trade prices for you if you'd like to save a bit of money by doing some of the contract missions. I suspect all the ones with the trade price are the ones that have the Mani upgrades on them, and the ones that don't have trade price options don't. But again, I will confirm that and give you a full list in the description once I find out. This leads us into the agency itself and how it operates. The first thing you will find out is you can get a small little bit of passive income at a safe that you'll find just behind your office. But the main meat of this DLC is the computer. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be sad to hear the fact that these have to be done in a public lobby. You can of course make a solo public lobby if you want to avoid griefers, but you have to play these in public lobbies. To get access to the more fun VIP contract, you're going to have to first do the security contracts. Thankfully, for me anyway, it was just had to do one of the gang terminations and then I got access to the VIP contract. If you do want to get that trade price unlocked for some of those vehicles, I think you are going to have to do a lot more of these security contracts, but so far I just had to do one and I was off to do the VIP contracts. Basically, after I completed the security contract, I got a message from Franklin telling me to head over to the golf course. This is where you meet Dr. Dre, and Dr. Dre plugs his new music and gives you the plot of this DLC, which is he lost his music and he needs you to get it back for him. This is really story driven as well, which is really cool to see, and you actually do get to play with Franklin in the game as well. So I'm really happy to see that we are going to have a more hands-on approach with Franklin, and it's not just going to be he's going to communicate with you constantly through text messages. It's nice to actually play through a story campaign with Franklin. This sets up the next part of the contract, which basically secures you with the VIP contract for Dr. Dre, where you try to track down his stolen music. To start this, you do it the exact same way, but you just go down to the contract mission and that will set you off on your adventure. I'm still playing through these, so I don't know exactly how long this little story campaign is, but I am enjoying it so far. These missions can be played solo, or I think they can also be played with one other person as well, so co-op. And so far, from what I've been playing, these aren't paying very well at all. I'm guessing at the end when you bring back the missing music that you're going to get a big payout, but for now, they are just paying, I think I got like 8 grand for the first mission I did for it, so they're not paying a huge amount so far anyway. There's also a new radio station that you can listen to on the game. I can't hear over copyright reasons, but you can find them in the in-game radio. There's Matamani and also the West Coast Classics, as well as Radio Los Santos have got some new tracks in them as well. I spotted Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre's the next episode, so that definitely looks like there's some decent tunes added to this, which I think is a big spin on this DLC for Rockstar Games, and I think a big motivation for them to do it like this is probably to help promote their record label as well. But so far I'm enjoying it, and I'm really hoping that there is a decent payout and good replayability in these campaigns. But this is how you get started and up and running with the new contract DLC for GTA Online. If you like this kind of content, be sure to hit the subscribe button and that bell icon to make sure YouTube actually tells you when I upload. It doesn't like to do it, but be sure to hit that bell then. And massive thanks to everyone who supports the channel, especially to the members. You guys are incredible. Hope you're all enjoying the DLC, and I will catch you all in the next video.